I have kept this secret for over 12 years, not because I wanted to protect anyone, but because I was afraid that if I spoke too early, I would not survive it. There are houses you walk into and nothing feels wrong. The chairs are arranged well. The air smells normal. The people smile at you, but spiritually, you have already been marked. Let me say this slowly so you understand me. There are houses in Nigeria today, Lagos, Enugu, Abuja, Port Harcourt, that are not just homes. They are altars. And once you step into them, you don't always live alone. My name is Miriam. I was initiated when I was 17 years old in Ibadan, in a compound that looked like any other family house. No signboard, no shrine outside, no strange markings. Just a normal gate with a normal family living inside. That is how it begins. My mother was sick, not the kind of sickness hospitals could explain. She would be fine during the day, but at night, she would scream like someone was choking her. We spent money, hospitals in Ibadan, then Lagos, drugs, injections, nothing worked. Until one woman came. Her name was Mama Shade. She was introduced to us as a prayer woman. But I remember something clearly. The first day she entered our house, she did not greet anyone first. She stood at the entrance, closed her eyes, and smiled. That smile, I understand it now. She wasn't seeing our house physically, she was seeing it spiritually. 3 days later, she told my father, "This sickness is not ordinary. Someone is calling her from the spirit." That was how everything began. Mama Shade told us there was a place we needed to go for special prayers. She said, "This one cannot be done in your house. We must go to a dedicated place." That word, dedicated place, I didn't understand it then, but now I know. She wasn't talking about a prayer ground. She was talking about a house that had already been handed over spiritually. We traveled at night, not late nights, but that strange time between evening and darkness, around 7:30 p.m. The house was in a quiet area in Ibadan, normal building, paint slightly fading. Children were even playing outside. Nothing looked suspicious, but the moment I stepped inside, I felt cold. Not air-conditioned cold, spiritual cold, like something inside me recognized where I had entered. Let me explain something clearly. Not every dangerous place looks dangerous. Some of the most dangerous houses are houses where they always insist you come and stay the night. Houses where prayers always happen after midnight. Houses where visitors suddenly feel heavy or sleepy. Houses where strange dreams begin after you visit. Because those houses have been dedicated. The day I was initiated was the same day I understood what they dedicated that house truly means. It was not a church, It was not a shrine, it was a living room. Chairs were pushed aside. The floor was clean, but at the center, there was something buried underneath. You could not see it physically, but spiritually, it was glowing. Mama Shade told me to sit. Then she said something that changed my life forever. From today, this house will recognize you. I didn't understand until they began. They dimmed the lights, closed all windows, and then they started calling names. Not names of people, names of spirits, ancient ones. The ground began to feel alive. I could feel vibrations under my feet. Then she said, "This house was dedicated long ago. Anyone who enters here is not a stranger." That is when fear entered me because I realized this was not a place people visit. This was a place that claims people. Let me reveal something many people don't know. When a house is dedicated, a spiritual covenant is tied to the land. An altar is activated, sometimes hidden physically. Spirits are assigned to monitor visitors. Anyone who enters can be marked without knowing. And the most dangerous part, you don't need to stay long. Even 30 minutes is enough. After my initiation, I was given my first assignment. It was simple, or at least that's what they told me. There is a man. He visits a certain house every weekend. We want to know why his life is not moving forward. I entered the spiritual realm that night, and what I saw, I will never forget. The house he was visiting had a mark at the entrance, not physical, spiritual. Anyone who crossed that gate, a thread would attach to their leg, invisible, and that thread was connected to something inside the house. Every time he visited, the thread tightened. His destiny was being drained gradually, not instantly, slowly, strategically. There are different types of these houses. 1. Family houses, where one member has secretly dedicated the home. 2. Prayer houses that look like churches but operate differently at night. 3. Friendship houses where you are always invited casually. 4. Relationship houses where partners unknowingly introduce each other into altars. And I was part of operations in all these categories. What happens after you visit such places? Let me explain the signs. After visiting such a house, you may experience sudden strange dreams, feeling watched at night, loss of spiritual strength, unexplainable delays, constant fatigue, loss of favor. But the most dangerous one is this: you start feeling comfortable going back. That is not normal, that is spiritual attachment. There was a woman. She visited one of our houses in Surulere, Lagos. Just a normal visit. She came for a birthday. She ate, laughed, and left. That night, her name was written, not physically, spiritually. Within 3 months, her business collapsed. Her marriage started shaking. She began having repeated dreams of being inside that same house because she didn't just visit, she was registered. Everything changed for me the night I was assigned to a pastor. He was invited to one of the houses, but something went wrong. The moment he stepped inside, he stopped at the door, closed his eyes, and said, "This house has another owner." That statement caused confusion in the spirit realm because he saw what many people don't see. He refused to enter, and that broke the chain. That was the first time I realized not everyone is blind. I began to fear because I knew if I stayed, I would not live alive. So I ran, not physically at first, but spiritually. I started praying, even when I didn't know how. The attacks increased, the dreams became violent. But one night I had an encounter and everything broke. Let me say this carefully. Not every house is safe anymore. Before you visit, pray. Be spiritually sensitive. Don't ignore uneasiness. Don't stay where your spirit is uncomfortable. Because some houses are not homes, they are entry points. If you have ever visited a place and something did not feel right, do not ignore it again. Share this message. Someone you know may already be trapped without knowing. And if you want to understand how to break free from these spiritual marks, stay with me because in the next part, I will reveal how these houses mark you and how to completely remove it. If you listen to the first part, then you already understand something most people don't. You now know some houses are not just buildings, they are altars with doors. And once you enter, something can follow you back. But here is what they never wanted you to know. What was done spiritually can also be undone. How the mark actually works. Before I show you how to break free, you need to understand what really happened to you. Because deliverance without understanding is how people go back into bondage. When you enter a dedicated house, three things can happen. 1. Your presence is announced. The moment you cross the entrance, your spirit is noticed, not by humans, but by entities assigned to that house. 2. A spiritual connection is created. It may be through the floor, through the seat you sit on, through food or drink, through handshake or physical contact. 3. A mark or link is placed. This is not always permanent, but it becomes permanent if you return repeatedly. You sleep in the house. You open up emotionally. You eat or receive gifts there. And once that link is stable, they can access your life from that point. Signs you were marked. Be honest with yourself. After visiting certain places, did you notice sudden spiritual weakness, prayer becoming difficult, repeated dreams of that location, feeling watched at night, strange fear or heaviness? Those are not random, those are signs. They are signs that something followed you. Why some people never recover? This is where many people miss it. They pray, but nothing changes. Why? Because they are fighting the symptom, not the connection. You cannot break free while you are still spiritually connected. Some people keep visiting the same house, keep maintaining the same relationships, keep accepting things from that environment, and then they wonder why nothing breaks. The first step is disconnection. Deliverance starts here. That is your first step towards deliverance. Not shouting, not fasting first, disconnection. Say this slowly and intentionally. I withdraw myself from every house, place, or environment that was not of God. Then take action. Stop visiting that place. Stop unnecessary contact. Remove anything you brought from there. Because you cannot be free while you are still connected. 2. Renouncing the invitation. This is very important. Many people were not forced, you entered willingly. So you must now revoke that permission. Say, I cancel every permission I gave knowingly or unknowingly. Every door I open by stepping into any evil place, I close it now. When you say this with understanding, something shifts. 3. Breaking the link. This is where real deliverance begins. Pray this. Every spiritual connection attached to me from any house I have entered, break now in the name of Jesus. Say it again, but this time, say it like you mean it. Because I tell you the truth, when we operated in darkness, we feared people who prayed with understanding and authority. 4. Destroying the mark. Now listen carefully. Not every mark is visible, but every mark can be removed. Pray. Every mark placed on my life through any visit, contact, or environment be erased by the blood of Jesus. This is where some people begin to feel lightness, release, emotion, even tears. That is not weakness. That is something living. Cutting off access points. 5. This is what many people don't do, and that is why problems return. You must block every future access. Pray. I seal every doorway, every access point, every connection. No spirit from any evil house will access my life again. Then back it up with wisdom. Be careful where you go. Be careful who you trust. Be spiritually alert. When I was trying to leave, I did these same prayers. That night, they came for me, not physically, spiritually. I saw myself standing at the entrance of that same house, and something was trying to pull me back inside. But for the first time, I resisted, and I said, I don't belong here anymore. That moment, the grip broke. I woke up sweating, but free. Let me leave you with this. Not every invitation is innocent. Not every house is safe. Not every friend understands what they carry. Be sensitive, be prayerful, be careful. Because some doors, once you enter, they don't close easily. If this message opened your eye, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Someone you know is already going through this, but doesn't understand it. And if you felt something shift while praying, comment, I disconnect and I am free. Because this is not just a story. This is a warning and a way out.